Angry Joe here, and I'm with Thad, the lead multiplayer designer on Battlefield Hardline. I gotta say, this one was a bit of a surprise for a lot of us, right? You know, but I think the idea is cool enough. Cops, robbers, who hasn't played that when they were kids, right? Yeah, and I got on that beta, you know, that EA, they moved all those, what was it, the curtains, and then we ran over there to the computers, hopped on that police motorcycle, flipped on that switch, woo, woo. It was pretty fun, okay, at least from what I played. But I think a lot of people are wondering, you know, is this really a full-fledged game experience? Why couldn't this have been DLC or like an expansion for, you know, the current Battlefield line?
Well, first off, you have only seen a portion of the content we've got to offer. We've got a full range of maps. We've got a full suite of game modes. We've got more vehicles. We've got a lot more weapons and gadgets coming. You'll see there's a ton of content still to show.
Excellent. And so that leads into my other question. This is going to be a fully fledged single-player mode. We're getting a storyline. Do you know how long that experience will be?
No, I don't want to say any specific time length yet, but I will tell you, you know, Visceral has a strong tradition of making solid single-player games with a great narrative, and we hope that this game won't be any exception. The guys and gals back home are working hard on creating an awesome single-player experience for you guys to explore.
All right, super PR, but I'm looking for, okay, so for example, what are some of the things we can look forward to in the single-player campaign? You got some actors, right, from some television series? Who's in the single-player?
Well, I can't really speak too much to the single player. As you know, I'm the lead multiplayer guy, not the lead single player guy. So I can basically tell you that you know, we've got some interesting mechanics for you. There are a great many similarities between the multiplayer and single player, and so some of the things you're going to learn in single player will be applicable to multiplayer as well.
It's super awesome that I do get the interview with you, because people are playing that right now. They're sending me questions on Twitter, so I have a few questions for you. Right away, people are like, where's 64 player? Are we going to be getting 64 player in Battlefield Hardline?
You know, Battlefield has a huge range of different experiences, and you can expect that you'll see 64 players in some maps and some modes. Obviously, we want to make the best game experience possible, and 64 players doesn't work in every scenario, but expect to see the return of some 64-player action.
Excellent, awesome. There's obviously a lot of modes y'all haven't talked about and are sort of keeping under wraps, but you know, some people are worried that this may be feeling too much like capture the flag all the time. There is going to be, can you give us an idea of how many modes we can expect?
I think the number of modes we have is pretty comparable to what Battlefield's offered in the past in terms of number of modes, so I'm not going to give you an exact number, but you can imagine the ballpark.
You guys are willing to make major changes to the game if the community feels that it's necessary, balancing changes. Like right now, I think a lot of people are feeling the survivalist perk maybe a little bit too overpowered.
So we've got some exciting changes to that perk to that gadget upcoming. I'm not going to talk to you specifically about what they are. We still need to test on them and iterate on them, but we have listened to you. We're already responding to feedback, so please keep that feedback coming. You know, we thrive on interacting with the community and actually hearing your feedback. As you know, we've been doing the Game Changers sessions. We've been listening to the community feedback actively, and we want to continue that going forward. We're really deeply invested in what the community thinks of our game. We want to make the best game possible.
Okay, we're being rushed here, and I just want to give the most important question is, when this game releases, is it going to be a solid, functioning experience online? How's the netcode doing right now with the beta? Are we going to get a, you know, solid experience? Because previously I was let down extremely by Battlefield for the state that it was released in multiplayer. Are you guys, you know, making sure that when you release it, it's definitely solid?
Yeah, that is definitely a serious point of interest and focus for us. I can talk to you frankly about the experience we've had on the show floor here. The server's up for 7-8 hours at a time. We don't have any crashes. So we've had one major glitch, and it was somebody accidentally tripped on a network cable. So, you know, we're looking forward to having a really solid game at launch, and it's a huge priority for us.
Okay, awesome. Well, one last question there is, do we have Levolution still in all the maps for Battlefield Hardline?
I think Levolution is a tricky term. It means different things to different people. Instead, I like to talk about spectacle and destruction, right? And we've got aspects of spectacle. We know that players love spectacle in-game when it comes to destruction. But we've listened to a lot of the community members saying that what they're really interested in is being able to change the play space through destruction. And that's what we're focusing on. That's what we're showcasing. So, for example, in the high tension map, it's set in downtown Los Angeles. When that crane comes down, it actually changes the heart of the map. It changes that play space. It creates new routes for infantry. infantry that that block vehicles. It creates new routes you didn't have previously and sneaky paths into other places. So that's a big focus for us, is allowing players to use that destruction to create new routes or block old routes.
Is it just going to be urban environments? Are we going to see maybe out in the farms and like meth labs and stuff, Breaking Bad style and stuff like that?
Well,
desert.
I'm not going to tell you exactly where we're going, but we've got some nice surprises for you. I think we're going some places you might not expect. And as you know, Battlefield has traditionally had a wide range of different sizes of experience, from the very small to the very large. We're no exception. We're still a true Battlefield title.
And finally, because of the fact that it's police versus criminals, you get this great opportunity to introduce some new weapons and some non-lethal takedowns, which is an interesting mechanic in Battlefield, obviously. Can you talk a little bit about what sort of devices the police and the criminals have that are non-lethal, and how that makes any sense in an online deathmatch type style?
Sure. Well, one of the great new additions we've got is a whole new class of melee weapons. We've got blunt weapons. So whether it's a baseball bat for the criminals or a police baton for the cops, you can now, when you know how in Battlefield when you get up behind a guy, you can perform that takedown maneuver where you knife him and you take his dog tags and all that. Well, in Battlefield Hardline, instead of taking his dog tags, you're going to take him down and arrest him. You're going to get his patches, and then he's actually arrested or he's captured, and then you can interrogate him. And what this does is gives up the position of all his teammates nearby in a small radius.
That's an interesting mechanic. Okay. Well, cool. It sounds like there's lots of interesting twists on the formula. And when can we expect Battlefield Hardline to release, and what systems?
Look for it in the fall on all the current gen, next gen, and PC.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking this time to speak with us. And we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
Into the jungle.